moving on. So when we're working with the microscope, we want to make sure that the lenses are not that far from a specimen. And again, there's one lens that you don't have that you can get. It's called an oil immersion lens. And what it does is it removes all the air from between the lens, oops, here, between the lens and the actual specimen. You'll actually sink the lens into a fluid so that you don't lose any of the image. That was kind of the point of that. So let's walk through the different parts of your microscope. Right, 2 hands. First is the arm where you hold it and the base where you support. Right. If you start at the top and work your way down, the first lens is called the ocular lens for eye. Like a lot of the medical terms for around the eye are oculi this and oculi that. So we also call it the eyepiece. You can see the magnification. So this alone magnifies by 10. Right. You have the tube. Down here you have the revolving nose piece because it revolves around. When you're working with specimens, you start at the red lined one. It's called the scanning or the low power objective because this gives you the biggest view of your field. This only magnifies on the side of it says 4. So it's 4 times magnification. The trick is that you've magnified 10 times 4 times, so it's 40 times magnification, which is stronger than most magnifying glasses will give you. But this is great because your slide's down here. You can see most of the slide area, move it around. Okay. The other ones are also called objectives. So you have a scanning or low power, you have a yellow high power, and then the highest power is the blue line. Up here, you have the above light or top light illuminator. These little things, oops, I'm doing this. Go to the other camera. Sorry, that's better. So these little flippy things are called stage clips. This is your stage, so those are the clips. They're nice because when you're using a slide, you can use your pointer fingers to move the slide and your thumbs to open and close the stage clips to help control where your slides are going. That little hole down in the center has a glass insert in it. It's actually a small lens, doesn't do a lot of amplifying, but what it does do is it helps concentrate the light. It's called a condenser. It condenses the light that's coming from down below. Oops, sorry. From the illuminator, light comes up, goes to the condenser, and goes right into your specimen and into your objective, your lens. This little controller on the side, it's called a diaphragm normally. Diaphragms, they also call them iris diaphragms because just like your iris, they can be adjusted to let more or less light in. Yours doesn't do that. Instead, yours has filters. So you can see the color filters down below, and we'll play with those later and show you how they work. But color filters help isolate colors so that you can see certain specimens with better contrast or separate different things better. So it's kind of nice that it came with that. I liked it. You have the lower illuminator or lower light. You have the body over here, and the body has 2 knobs. A big one, it's called the coarse adjustment knob. When you move it, you can see big movements of the stage. The little one's called the fine adjustment. And you can see it's actually turning the big knob, but really slow. So when I start, it doesn't matter to me. I can start either at the bottom or at the top. So I'll turn my coarse knob all the way up now, put my specimen in, and then I'll slowly turn the coarse knob until I see it. Then I'll fine tune it with the little knob until it's clear. Then I can look at stronger magnification. And we'll do all that again. And then the final piece is you have the base, power switch, and the rheostat. The rheostat, I don't know why they didn't just call it a dimmer, but it helps dim your light. So if I want to flip the overhead on, dim it, brighten it up. Because you don't always just want to crank the light up like a laser and blast everything. Sometimes it's better to have a little bit darker environment to see structures better instead of blinding you. In your manual, on the bottom, the QR codes, there's a digital microscope online that you can look at, play with, and explore with. And there's a digital online lab too to walk you through it. So if you're playing with your microscope and you're going somewhere else and you're not taking it with you, but you want to get some practice focusing on specimens, then that's a good place to do that. All right, this seems like a pretty good place to take a little pause, take a 5-minute breather, and then I'll meet you right back here and we'll start looking through the scope and playing. Talk to you soon. Ooh, I'm answering that. In the meantime, I need to pause recording so we don't have a big gap like I. Okay, so it's been about 5 minutes, maybe a little over 5 minutes, but we can get going again. So we just walked through kind of the formalities and walk through the different parts of the microscope. I'll keep using the terms over and over again so you get a chance to hear them and get used to it. Learning to work with a microscope is pretty easy. It may not seem really easy in the beginning, but it's kind of like when you were younger and you learned to play with an Etch-a-Sketch. You were probably 3 years old trying to figure that stupid thing out. You feel like you turn one way and it goes another way. It's just really weird to do. You get a little frustrated, but you just can't give up. And then eventually you get it. And I know a guy that he loves Etch-a-Sketches, I guess, but he can draw the entire 50 states of the United States, or sorry, no, just continental United States on an Etch-a-Sketch in like 5 minutes. It's amazing. But the microscope's the same way. Some people will really get into it and they'll be great with it. Other people will think it's okay and they'll be really good with it. It's hard to be bad with a microscope, just doing the fundamental